The hold on, they are good. Saints went into Dallas, scored touchdowns on their first 6 drives. New Orleans had 35 points at half. Final score 44-19. Here's Dak after the game.
As far as riding a high, I know I wasn't personally. I don't think the guys in the locker room necessarily were. I mean, I talked about how much meat we left on the bone offensively. And that's simply why you can't listen to other people's opinions and read what you guys write respectfully. I mean, yeah, y'all may have put this team on a high more than we should have been, and now we just simply have got to reset. We've got to respond. We're not going undefeated. I mean, hadn't been done in 50 years. Woo, surprise.
Brew?
That was a perfect answer. You love that answer.
I just feel like I see that 5 times a year. I mean, really.
Your grade.
Well, it's the easiest grade I've ever given. I'll tell you that, all right? But before I get to it, I would be remiss. I'm from Louisiana.
Oh, yes, I forget.
I'm from Louisiana.
You're from so many places.
Broussard is like Smith down in
Yeah,
Louisiana.
We've heard that.
So I have to give a shout out to the Saints, 2-0. And I did say last week, Derek Carr. When I said Derek Carr is balling, coach, these two
Wilds
looked
did
at
the
me
whole
like
thing.
I had
Wilds
horns
gave
going
us
in
the
my
I like
head.
Derek Carr.
About 15
Okay, maybe it was
touchdowns
just
and
you
1
and
pick. It was
Jennings.
me and Greg.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So last
guy. I got
6
your back.
games
Yeah, I'm a
by
Saints
Derek
guy.
Carr. Last 6 games.
Yeah, what?
He's they're 5-1. He's got 17 touchdowns,
Hello.
2 interceptions, a 129.9 passer rating, and they beat Dallas, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta. So some good teams, and barely lost to Rams when the Rams were cooking. So I just wanted to shout out the Bayou. All right, now the Cowboys to the grave. We all know they like to talk about the Super Bowl, and please, the Cowboys. I don't want to hear those 2 words, Super Bowl, from you guys the rest of the regular season.
Impossible.
Can we agree to that? Not a player, not a coach, not an executive, not an owner. Don't mention it until January.
0 chance, bro. Mike is pod to
That's just my advice. If you want to keep getting waxed, then ignore it. All right, that said, you like to talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans this year on Fox. We will be there. And the Cowboys won't be there. But yesterday, they did play the team from New Orleans. So I figured, what better way than to give them the grade than to do it who dat style? Brothers, let's do it. Yeah, baby.
That's such a dumb joke.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good.
That's how we do it
I mean,
in Louisiana,
that's
baby.
really good, Brew.
So Bruce giving them an F.
Are you, thank God, by the way, and we'll get to it later, Trevor didn't play great because I don't know if the show could have handled the break dancers, a marching band, and the Royal Trumpeteers.
We may never
But,
see the Royal Trumpeteers again. That's
that
another
is my
story.
favorite group that we've
I mean,
had.
they were outstanding.
They were great. They were great.
It just to add one other point to the Saints part of it, Alvin Kamara, 10 touchdowns the previous 2 years. 2 years. Had 4 yesterday, and so here's my biggest concern for Dallas. It's twofold. One is the one thing we were supposed to be able to rely on the Cowboys on was at home in the regular season, they're awesome.
Yep.
And I'm not going to overreact and say the Packer game broke them, but what I am going to say is the last 2 home games, one was the Packer playoff game. All right, so 0-2, getting blasted by 20, giving up 46 a game. The previous 16, coach, 16-0, giving up 17 points a game. So that's a concern. Here's my other major concern, and I'll give it to you. I thought, you weren't here Friday, but my analysis of the game was simple. Cowboys have, for what their strengths or weaknesses, an excellent pass rushing defensive front. The Saints have had issues on their offensive line year over year and then injuries in this offseason. I thought the Cowboys would win the game right there. And instead, they had 1 sack and 1 quarterback hit, and the Saints on their first 3 drives had plays of 39, 70, and 57, and scored touchdowns on their first 6 drives of the game, which made it 15 straight drives with Derek Carr to score touchdowns we talked about. So that, to me, was such a bad defensive performance, you almost throw it out. But I do trust Mike Zimmer. I do trust the talent, so I don't understand how they could play that poorly, not for a drive or 2, but for an entire half.
Well, Derek Carr only threw the ball 16 times, so there weren't a lot of pass rushing opportunities. Then they ran the ball, 39 times? So that was skewed. And what happens early is they hit him with those 2 big, or they hit him with the big plays. So that changes the whole momentum of things. And what's difficult with a new defensive coordinator is as problems come up, there's not a lot of that you can go to the sideline and quickly make adjustments on, because there's nothing to draw from. You can't say, hey, remember 2 years ago when we did this? Remember last year when this problem came up? Everything is new for those guys. So as issues come up on the sideline, it takes longer to get them fixed. Now, this defense should get better, but it's a defense that's, I'm sure, transitioning from a terminology standpoint, from a structure standpoint, obviously from a coaching approach standpoint. And when you get into a fight like this, where suddenly you're taking haymakers, and then you've got to go over and try to settle everybody down, you've got no rapport with the players because only your second game with live bullets with them, and you've got nothing to draw on from past experience that you can quickly adjust to. You're kind of hoping.
But so are you predicting we're going to see more of these? A team gets out early. It means that's what happened to the Packers, but that was obviously Dan Quinn. So in a few weeks, if this happens again, it's going to be the same. No, not excuse, explanation.
I would imagine as time goes on and they're building up reps, and they're getting used to the communication and all the things that happen when you start working together for a little bit of a period of time, it should be better. But I don't think anybody in that building expected to have what happened happen, especially to have it happen that early, and then there's suddenly you're on the sideline like you're not fixing one problem, you're fixing multiple problems.
I'm the registrar of Broussard University, and I checked this.
Yeah.
First F ever for the Cowboys at home in the regular season, given by Chris.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
First one.
There was another
They usually
debacle.
good at home.
Yeah.
Excellent band.
Yeah. Did at home and huge favorites, and now they are 0-2. Here's Lamar postgame.
It's always business, yeah, but we're going to see. We're going to see. I'm definitely going to talk to my guys, though, because we got to find our mojo. We got to find and do what we do, because that's not us at all.
Okay, defensive side of the ball also needs to find their mojo. Here are the last 4 series. The Raiders scored 20 points and had 172 yards, 12 first downs. Not great. So, Brew, are you buying that the Ravens will find their mojo?
Yes, but before they find their mojo, and I'm serious, I want John Harbaugh to find his brother Jim's phone number, call him up, because you know what Jim's going to say?
Run the ball?
Run the football.
Well, he might be like, hey, I've got someone that wants to talk to you. It's the offensive coordinator you fired after having the #1 running offense year after year after year.
Run the football. That's what they need to do. They need to, and that will help them find the next thing, their identity. Their team, and we talked about a little bit last week, they don't have an identity. I agree, Nick. The defense needs to get better. I think it will. The offensive line needs to improve. I think it will. But they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And yesterday, Derrick Henry, look, 18 carries, 84 yards.
Popped a big
but
one
in
late.
the second half, 10 carries, 74 yards. Yeah. When they scored, I thought it was over when they go up 23-13.
Yeah, it's supposed
I think
to be.
it's over. He runs 6 times in their last 7 plays on that drive, has 36 yards, scores the touchdown. You think it's over. He touches the ball one more time the rest of the game. And so I think they have, they don't know what they want to do. They want Lamar to kind of shine the way he wants. But here's the thing. Lamar's not going to outpass Mahomes in the playoffs. And maybe some other quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud and all that. Yeah. But he can pass well enough to support a strong run game. And so Nick, they have to stop being so predictable. You can't. And we know when Henry's in the game, he's running.
Yeah.
When Justice Hill's in the game, they're passing for the most part. They're going to have to play Henry like a full-time back so people don't know what's coming their way and let him run the ball and then play action off of that.
So if I may, though, here's the problem with them running the ball so much in the second half with Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers didn't like it. You're king of vibes. Zay Flowers doesn't use Twitter often. Retweeted this last night. It was still up this morning. Second week in a row that he's had a big first half, and they stopped getting him the ball in the second.
Not good.
That's a bit of a warning sign. Here's another